Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Well, hello, everybody. It's Becky Brown sitting in the host seat chair today. Brian has taken the day off, and we are so grateful for him hosting the show for these last months. As you know, we are going through changes all the time. Actually, we talk to you about changes that you're going through, and we want to hear from you when you are going through changes, or maybe you need to make a change and you just haven't figured out the way through. Well, here at New Life, as you know, we have been around for 36 plus years. We continue to improve, make changes so that the next generation, as well as you all fine folks, can continue finding the transformation that God wants for you in your life. Romans 12:2 is our foundational verse. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That is God's will for you. And that has been the core verse for New Life since its beginning, way back in the 80s of the 20th century. But here, this is not what I'm talking about today. Today, on August 14th, we are excited to share with you the launch of our brand new website. NewLife.com has a new look, a new feel. It is easily navigated. I think you're going to be excited for all the ways that we have been working as a team for these last 8 months. Yes, it has taken us all of that time to rebuild the website. And why does that matter to New Life? Because in this day and age, you all use websites all the time. And when you go to a website, you want to be able to find what you're looking for in a timely manner. You also want to be able to find it on a mobile device. Believe it or not, more often than not, we're looking at our phones. I know that doesn't surprise you, for the information. And so newlife.com has been improved greatly in so many ways. You're going to be able to find the information. You're going to be able to refer it to people to be able to find what they are needing. Matter of fact, when you go to newlife.com, and I should put a buffer in here, say don't leave the radio yet, but when you have time to go to newlife.com, you'll see that there is a search bar right when you open up the page. What are you looking for? And there's some suggestions there that you might be looking for and you didn't even know how to find it. We're grateful for the team that has helped us through this. We've had some of the best experts help us in this robotic age where, you know, we all hear about artificial intelligence and all of those things. It's part of our lives here in the 21st century. And guess what? We want Christian counseling to be right in the center of all of that. We want people who are searching for help to be able to find the help that they need in a timely manner, in a way that is efficient and clear and can walk them through the journey of their mental health and recovery. We've been doing this for a long time, and we plan on continuing to do this for the next generation and beyond. I was so excited just recently because we had some folks that called us that had just heard us for the first time and were calling, and they were in their 20s. And, that may not seem like a big deal to you, but some of you have been listening as long as I have and have been part of New Life. And you know how New Life has helped you and how God has spoken through the programs, through the counselors. We want to continue to do this for the next generation. So, we have a new website, newlife.com, and you're going to see the new branding, and it has all been an incredible journey. We're going to continue to move forward. We're going to continue helping people right here at New Life Live, and you're going to hear more about those new things as we go along. On today's show, we're going to have Marc Cameron and Dr. Alice Benton answering your calls. And I know that we can help you. 1-800-229-3000 is the number. We've got Don waiting, and we're going to go to his call first. And we've got some other open lines, but we're just so grateful that God has used the ministry to help transform the lives of literally thousands of people. And we're going to continue to be faithful to the call. We'll be right back after this.
I went to Every Man's Battle in 2012. My sexual integrity was not what it should have been. I sought out affairs, whether physical or emotional. Until I came to Every Man's Battle, I didn't understand that would never fill that void.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity, impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography.
The shame and guilt was overwhelming.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Intensive.
You will discover what the true root of your pain is, and you will discover how to overcome.
You don't have to struggle any longer. Get help in Cincinnati, Ohio, August 22nd through the 24th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
Every Man's Battle saved my life.
1-800-NEWLIFE and the discount code NLL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back. It's Becky Brown with Marc Cameron and Dr. Alice Benton, and we are taking your calls. We're going to go to Don, who's calling us from Newcastle, Delaware, and listens on SiriusXM. Hello, Don. Thanks for waiting. How can we help you today?
Well, good afternoon. Something my wife and I talked about as recently as yesterday. We've been married, it'll be 13 years, December 8th, and while we were dating, we did very little kissing, no making out. She was the strong one when it came to that, for which I'm grateful. But not much has changed since we've been married, as far as the kissing goes. She has never... It's not a natural thing. She has to actually think about it, which makes it somewhat awkward or clumsy. And if she's distracted in just the slightest bit, she stops. And I've prayed about it. I've asked her to pray about it. I admit we've not prayed about it together. We have a number of books that were suggested to us that we've already read. Only a couple of them deal with intimacy in marriage, and none of them deal with just a simple act of kissing. You know, books by Dr. Wheat and Willard Harley, Mark Driscoll, and I've even asked her, you know, was there anything in her past, a bad experience? She had such little experience. There was nothing negative. No one tried to force herself on her in any way, you know, that she tells me. And it's got to the point over years now where I don't even like kissing anymore. Even kissing her, you know, greeting her goodbye as she leaves for work for me, you know, is a struggle because I just don't enjoy it anymore because it's, you know, like kissing somebody like a mannequin. I'm sorry to say I apologize for that.
Well, that's all right, Don. I can hear your pain. And I mean, 13 years of marriage, and this is an unresolved issue. And for those of us who are married, where kissing is just part of, like what you just said, kissing goodbye, or just those regular kind of touch points. But let's see if we can get you some help. Marc, let's start with you.
Well, Don, you talked about just even kissing goodbye, but how are you expecting to be kissed? Because usually a kiss goodbye, generally, I think for most people, maybe as a peck, maybe on the cheek, or just a quick kiss on the lips. How are you?
This call is being recorded.
How are you expecting to be kissed goodbye?
Well, this is not just a kiss goodbye. It's just that I was using that as an example. But for instance, I had always, I mean, this is her first marriage. She had almost no relational experience with boys or men. It's my second marriage, but there was good 20 years between my first one and this one, and it was 8 years between my last relationship and this one. So, but you know, and she's seen good examples of kissing. In fact, there was a couple who was, you know, repeatedly making out in a Bible study that we were attending, and so she knows what it looks like, and it just I always thought that once you get past the initial first kiss in your life, the body takes over. And I told her that that's why it's dangerous. That's why I'm glad that she was the strong one and did not allow any serious necking, kissing, because I believe God designed it to arouse passions when it's between husband and wife. And it can lead to more than just kissing if unchecked. And it does not do that with us. In fact, we just skip that altogether now.
Don, are you angry with her? I would be if I were in your shoes.
I don't know if that's what I feel. I definitely call it frustration. And there's times when I've cried out to God, even when we're just watching TV and we don't watch anything sorted at all. But, when I see that in my mind, I'm crying out a silent prayer. I want to experience that. I know what kissing can be like. Yeah. I was not innocent going into this marriage as she was, but we're both starting from scratch. By the grace of God, we are, brand new in Christ, and there's nothing, she has to think about it. I could tell she is thinking about kissing because the moment she starts enjoying something else between us, the kissing stops because she can't think about more than one thing at a time.
I think I do hear an edge of the frustration. Maybe sometimes it goes to anger and loneliness. I think it hurts you that this is so important to you and she doesn't seem to be doing all that much about it. In general, how receptive would you say you both are to hearing each other's concerns, and then how motivated you tend to be to want to work out what the problem, whatever it is, outside of this problem?
I know specifically when it comes to various things regarding intimacy, she's never expressed anything that results in pushback or being defensive. When we talk about this, where she gets offended and, I'm putting all the pressure on her. Haven't never seen anything like that.
Don, with your wife, what was her experience with intimacy and physical connection and kissing and hugs growing up? Do you know?
As far as familiar, with a family, I don't know. When I visit her family, I made it a point. We live, I met her when she moved out here. Her family lives in Ohio, and I made it a point, even after only 6 months of dating, to visit her family at least once a year. And I've never seen them. I mean, they hug, but no kisses on the cheek or anything.
Yeah. So those are our
experience.
So those are our first
with men.
Those are our, I understand what you're saying, and you're talking about romantically, but our first, even though we are new creations in Christ, what that means is that, our sins have been washed away, but our history does not get washed away. And our first experiences of physical connection, kisses and hugs, and you're right, they should come naturally, but if you don't receive that when you're growing up, it can feel a little bit alien, it can feel a little bit awkward, it can feel a little bit uncomfortable. And so I encourage you to start there. Start with asking your wife questions about what it was like growing up. Did she receive kisses? Did she want to give kisses? What was it like if she didn't get those kisses? And then as Alice is saying, is learning to explore, okay, what is her willingness to learn how to practice some of these skills that come natural for a lot of us with you now?
All right. Does it matter that, said her parents split up, divorced when she was, I think, maybe preteen?
I don't know if that know if that matters or not, because we each have a separate connection with each of our parents. It's how comfortable were they in showing physical affection, because there's some kind of disconnect there that she didn't learn. And so I think for you, it's learning to have understanding about the reason behind this, and then learning to have patience with her in the learning process. I mean, you can now become her new teacher in a wonderful experience, practice of learning how to kiss. But if you are exhibiting frustration and annoyance and disconnection about that, you're only going to further drive disconnection and an unwillingness to engage in that process, because she'll feel anxious about it and she won't feel safe.
That's right. You know, Don, you mentioned intimacy in marriage, and we've got one coming up in Dallas in October that I think you and your wife should come, because the kissing is the tip of the iceberg. And what Marc and Alice have talked about, it's all the stuff that's underneath there. But we're going to send you a copy of How We Love and invite you and your wife. I also think that if you haven't already done it, that you guys could, couples counseling could really help deepen this conversation so that it isn't just on that surface level, and can address all those things. But I'm so glad you called today, Don, and we'll hopefully we'll see you at Intimacy and Marriage in October. Now we're going to go back to the calls. We're going to talk to Lisa, who's calling us from San Diego, listens on our app. You know that we have a free app. You can download it wherever you get your apps. Hello, Lisa. Thanks for waiting. How can we help you today?
Hi. Yes, I have a son that has a drug addiction for 5 years now, and he has a really good relationship with me. He doesn't live with me. He has been in and out of sober living and rehab, and currently he just got kicked out of the sober living. And my question is, I have Life 360. And the reason why I have Life 360 as a tracking device with my son is because if something was to happen to him, I would know where to look. And I can track where he went and how if something was to happen to him, meaning if he overdosed. Okay? And this is how my mind is thinking. So I'm thinking, you know, at times too, I'll screenshot things so I don't lose it in my, you know, because I want something, I want something that shows where he was if something was to happen to him. And it's just torture to me. It's torture to me. And so yesterday, you know, I look on it, and he's at Motel 6, but he says he's at Carl's Jr. And so I know he's lying to me, and I know he's probably using. And so at that moment, I have so much anxiety, worry, thinking he's lying to me, he's abusing himself again, and I don't know what to say right now. Should I call him? Should I call him out and say, no, you're not? Because then he'll take me off Life 60. So what happened was I sent him a text and said, I will no longer talk to you while you're on drugs. Call me when you're done with everything, because I can't do this anymore. And
it's so hard, Lisa.
And so then he took me off Life 360. So this morning he called me. This morning he called me, and I prayed all night last night. Please, God, please just give me peace from this anxiety, because, you know, I don't want this call. And I turned my ringer off because I don't want a call from the police or anybody saying, you know, he passed away or something. So I get a call, though, in the morning. I don't know. I see my phone light up, and it's him, my son, saying, I love you, Mom. I'm okay. What are you doing today? And so I'm not on Life 360 with him anymore.
All right.
Completely.
Well,
I don't know if this is the right thing or not. That's my question.
Okay, Lisa, I want to ask a question before we go to Marc and Alice. Are you in any sort of Al-Anon or any counseling whatsoever? I mean, 5 years in drug addiction is a lot for a mom to deal with the son. Are you having any supports at all?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I am.
Alice,
let's
start with you.
I've done it for about 5 years.
Okay.
Lisa, you are going through whiplash with your son, and so many of the new pieces of information that come to you are anguish to your heart and soul. And you both want to know, and it's killing you to know too much about his whereabouts. So your emotional regulation is just, I think, stolen from you every time you find out something new. And even the good times and the good call can be just as unsettling, because just yesterday he completely cut you off. And so what I would ask you to do is evaluate the cost of how high your level of involvement is in his life. And I heard a protective reaction you had. Son, I am not going to talk to you as long as you're using. Call me when you're sober. And the core of that is part of the principle of Al-Anon. It is, how much do we have to limit our activity in a person's life who's continuing to choose something that's unhealthy for them? So there's more that we're going to offer you when we come back from the break to help you, because this is heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking. You know, we've been helping people in recovery and get through these things, but you're right, Alice, it can become just, it sucks all of our life as we try to keep somebody else alive. And yet their response seems so nonchalant, like, I'm okay. Hey, Mom, how you doing? How was your day? It can be maddening. We're going to get you the support that you need, Lisa, as you continue to look for answers. We'll be right back after this.
What a New Life course is it's around a topic led by a professional licensed counselor coach with a small group of 8 or 9 people on a weekly Zoom call. You're going to go through the information, but also connect as a group. Those group processes make all the difference in the world. And so we have created New Life courses so that you can experience that on a weekly basis. Every week you're meeting on Zoom with that therapist. You're going over the concepts as well as connecting as a group. It is so powerful. And it's accessible. Wherever you are, you're going to be able to join us. So you can sign up right away. With 8 or 9 slots open, they're going to go quick. And so you want to call today and get registered.
Begin your transformation in September with a New Life course. Lose it for life, take your life back, or healing is a choice. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Club New Life changes lives.
You guys came along into my life in 2022. That was a really, really difficult year of my life.
You can help New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people by joining Club New Life today.
I began to really process a lot of things that I've needed to for a long time, and y'all were a very big part of that.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
I came out of it having never experienced anything like that, and y'all were there.
Join today and help continue the message of hope to a troubled world.
I knew I had to keep going, and I joined Club New Life, and y'all have been the resource that has now been a light for my wife and I.
Go to newlife.com/CNL, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places.
Keep doing what you do because it makes a difference.
newlife.com/CNL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back. You know, I just referenced recovery. We've got our Choosing Wisdom online New Life Recovery Conference that's coming up. And we're going to talk about stuff like this that you're bringing up, Lisa, because so many people have loved ones who are struggling with addiction, and that's part of their own recovery. But Alice, you were in the middle of talking with Lisa, giving her some insight. How would you like to continue?
Lisa, I'm so grateful that I'm not the one in charge of everything and that I'm not the all-knowing one, because information overload, I can't handle knowing too much. Because when we have too much information and not enough power to act on that information, it's very crazy making. And then we end up feeling powerless and hopeless. And so, as you know from your recovery work, Al-Anon teaches us, how do we surrender what's out of our control? How do we figure out what is within our little teeny tiny circle of control? And then we work on that. And usually that's just my own reactions to what my son is doing. So how do I do soul care so that I can stay as regulated as possible? And that does sometimes mean I have to take breaks from being in my son's life because I get too dysregulated and pulled in. So what can I control? Well, I can pray for him. I can say, I'll take you to a meeting when you're ready to go to a meeting. And then I can do all my own character work so I'm a better me when I'm ready again to engage with him or when he shows up and wants sobriety. And one last really tough part of recovery is allowing our loved one to hit a bottom And the more we help them, the longer it takes for them to get to a bottom, because we keep them afloat up above the bottom with our help. And even sometimes just with our company, the pleasure of our company can keep them from hitting a bottom. And so most addicts have to lose more and more of the good in their life for them to hit a bottom and want a change. They have to feel the misery that addiction truly brings. And if we take too good of care of them, they don't get to feel the misery their own addiction brings.
That's so true, Alice. Okay, Marc, how can you help?
Yeah, it's such a hard situation, Lisa. I mean, addiction is so strong. It's so powerful, that draw to the addict. And you may have heard this, and if not, I'm going to repeat it because these things are often said in Al-Anon. There's 3 C's, which are I didn't cause it, I didn't control it, and I can't cure it. And it's learning to be able to absorb that. And then there's also 5 G's. Get off their back, get out of their way. You get to a meeting, give them to God, and then get on with your life. And it's so hard to do this because it's natural to have this fear and this worry about your child. But it's learning to be able to separate that. And as Alice is saying, this happens in ongoing recovery. But one thing I want to encourage you not to do is not to do this up down, because in addiction, there's a high and then there's a withdrawal and then there's a low. And so if you mimic that up down with him, where like, I want to know where he is, but now I'm really anxious and you know what, I can't even do this with you right now. You're mimicking that up down in that relationship in the same way that he's having with with the drug, with the addiction. And so it's hard to learn how to get to that place of even being neutral to that, but it's ongoing, continuous recovery work. And so you really just need to have support through this just difficult period.
What Marc is saying, it also applies to if we make a threat that I am not going to be in your life if you're using, but we don't back it up and stick with it, our words and our authority really lose their power. And so being able to say with calm, once you call me to go to a meeting, that's when I can talk with you, because that's a sign that my child really is choosing sobriety, versus making a threat and then not following through. You lose more of your power that way.
And I want to say it is okay to separate during his times of when he's deep in the addiction, because it's going to be hard for you to keep on checking with him. Like, he's telling me he's here, but I can see that he's not there. And so it's going to take some training for you to be able to, if you do end up getting back on Life 360 with him as a safety mechanism, to be able to learn how to not look at times, or if he's telling you one thing, to not have to call him out on that. And so these are difficult things. So I'm not saying don't completely separate from him, but I'm saying learning how to manage that anxiety on the inside.
That's right. Well, we're so glad that you called, Lisa. We'll be praying for the situation. We're going to send you a copy of Take Your Life Back, but I want to encourage you to join us on the Choosing Wisdom online Life Recovery Conference. It'll be October 4th. Alice is one of our speakers. It's so true. It's going to get harder before it gets better, but it doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It really is the power of that supportive community that's going to help you through that time. We'll be praying for your son. If you need help, connect him with another treatment center. We've got connections with treatment centers all over the country that can be maybe a next step, but that would probably be when he gets to his bottom. So thank you for calling, Lisa. We are going to go to Gigi, who's calling us from LA. She listens on the app. You can listen on the app as well. She listens on, she listens on KKLA. I'm so glad that you called, Gigi. How can we help you today? Oh, Gigi, are you there? Well, hold on, Gigi, because I can hear music, but I can't hear you, and hopefully we'll get you after the break. It's always just a challenge to get connected, whether it's intentional or not, but we are going to try our best to talk to her after this break. I just want to say one more thing about Choosing Wisdom. Alice, what are you talking about?
Oh, I have the honor of talking about anxiety, which is a near and dear topic to my heart as well, because it's part of my struggle. So we'll be learning how to manage it, how to get through it, how to get out of it.
I love it. And I'm going to be talking about how recovery is for everyone, not just for those people. It is really a powerful force in our life when we recognize the power of surrender and acceptance. And it's really a big part of all of our lives. We'll be back with Gigi after this.
I was stuck. I was so stuck. 27 years married. My husband addicted to pornography for the majority of our marriage. I was very isolated and didn't really know which way to turn.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, Restore Intensive will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
When two people want to do their part, we can be restored. But if they don't, we can still be restored. We are not stuck because someone else made a decision. That God lets us weigh in on how we want to walk out our lives. Our wellness does not hinge on another person's decision.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Washington, D.C. November 7th to the 9th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50.
You guys helped me figure out what was going on.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. Do you need help for life's hard situations?
My husband recently said he wanted a divorce.
I'm confused on what I should do.
I have an eating disorder.
New Life Live answers your questions on relationships, grief, addiction, trauma, anxiety, and much more, all from a biblical perspective with our panel of professional counselors and psychologists.
I learn a lot from your program.
You help so many people.
I appreciate your ministry.
Whether you listen or watch, there are so many ways to connect with us to ask our panel of counselors a question. Call us Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at 1-800-229-3000 to ask your question on New Life Live. Or go to newlife.com/radio for other ways to get your question answered.
I'm trying to find help.
I just want to know how to set boundaries.
If it's a sin, what am I supposed to do?
Need a therapist or a coach, a resource, or an intensive? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back. Unfortunately, we lost Gigi. Maybe she'll call back, but I just want to take 1 second and just say thank you to everyone who's giving to New Life. You are making a difference in the lives of so many people, and you can give today by going to newlife.com, that new website that I talked to you about, and hit donate and give something to make a difference in the lives of someone else. Susie left a comment that said, "We've been listening since 2003, and it reassures us that there's nothing we're going through that someone else hasn't survived." Isn't that the truth? We have not heard it all, and we want to continue to offer the help for wherever you are in this time. But, you can also text the letters NLM to 28950. Any amount makes a difference in the lives of so many people. It's just really amazing how God has worked through New Life. Now, we're going to continue to go to the calls. We're going to talk with Annie, who's calling us from Philadelphia and listens on WBYN. Hello, Annie. Thanks for waiting. How can we help you today?
Hi. Thanks for taking my call. I am calling about a situation in our family that I would like some insight on. We have an adult daughter who still lives at home, who's had a many long years health journey with chronic illness, so many diagnoses. I don't even want to go into all that, but the latest diagnosis she has had about 5 years ago is high functioning on the autism spectrum. And this is the diagnosis that resonates most closely for her. She's very high functioning. She probably would be considered Asperger's, I guess, if you want to categorize it. So she has actually, since that diagnosis, she has made tremendous progress in her life. She really is very determined to live independently and on her own. She's not able to support herself, though, so she's still at home with us. But part of that desire she has is to meet somebody and get married. So she was part of a very vibrant young adult group at a church for over a year. The fellows would sit on one side of the room, the girls would sit on the other, and nobody was asking anybody out. so all the young women were going online, meeting people online, and my daughter decided to try that. And lo and behold, she met someone that she really connected with very, very quickly and very closely. So we are just kind of reeling from this whole thing and wanting to be discerning about it. Of course, we prayed about it. And it's hard to know, is this God's answer? Should we be grateful and thrilled, or should we, wait a minute, be really concerned? And what kind of advice we can give her about being discerning as well. So that's what
it's all of that, isn't it, Annie? Excitement, scared, don't know what direction to go. Let's start with you, Alice. Where would you start with this situation?
Annie, in addition to the online concern you have that's how they met, have there been any other red flags that have amped up your worry?
Just that this young man is 7 years older than our daughter, and has not lived a godly life for most of his adult life. He was not serious about his Christian life until his mid-30s. And so that's a little red flag for me, that I'm hoping he's as sincere as he seems, but he doesn't have a real long track record. That's probably my main concern.
A very legitimate concern.
Yeah.
How open is your daughter to being willing to discuss her relationship with him, with you and your husband?
She's very open. We have a very close relationship. And in fact, this young man has said, I wish your parents wouldn't be so polite. I wish they would interrogate me.
That they would interrogate me? That's what he wishes?
Yes. Yes.
Huh. Okay.
But I don't want to be, they're adults. I don't want to be overbearing.
Can I ask a question before we go to Marc?
Sure.
Annie, have you met him in person? Like, is this a real person?
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he lives in another state 5 hours away. So most of their relationship is on the phone for hours. They have just talked for hours. But they have decided to meet every other month. He has come here twice and stayed with our family. She has gone up there and stayed with his family. So, they're trying to meet in person, but it's challenging and it's expensive too. So,
well, sure it is.
And when
All
you
right,
say
Marc.
and when you say she's gone and stayed with his family, you're talking about his parents.
Well, actually, no, because he owns his own home. She stayed in an Airbnb.
Mm-hmm. But she's met his family. She's also met his parents and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Went to church with him.
And is there a reason?
He has met us, and yes. Go ahead.
I'm just curious about this. Is there a reason why she's still? You're still supporting her? She's high functioning. Can she not hold down a job? Is that difficult for her?
She still has health issues. She has like a chronic fatigue, and so she can't work full time. She could not support herself full time. She does work, but it's very part time. She is easily fatigued. So that's the main.
Yeah, so I mean, it makes sense why you're cautious for her. I mean, she's had a lot of health issues. There's a certain element that she's vulnerable, and so that mama bear inside of you don't know this person. She's met him online, and so you're cautious about, okay, who is this person who's wanting to pursue my daughter, and they're getting close to one another. I will say, yes, I do think it's a concern to think about the long distance relationship, because you can get easily drawn into the romanticism of a relationship when it's long distance, and not the realities of what it's like to see someone on a daily basis or often enough to really see them in all kinds of different situations. But I think it's a good thing that she's meeting his parents. I think it's a good thing that he's coming down and he's willing to meet you. And I also think it's a good thing that he's saying, like, I wish your parents would ask me the hard questions. And so I think it's for you, it's learning to find that balance of, yes, he is an adult and yes, she is an adult. But also not treating her as much as a child too. And I know that's probably hard because she still relies on you. But I would encourage you, ask those questions, because it's only through testing something can you really know the strength of it.
Right.
As parents, I think it's wise for us to lean more heavily on looking for and speaking about the positive, because our anxiety can come out so strong, and then it can distance our child from us, and then they might rebel against us, because if it seems like we're against their person they're in love with, that's very off-putting, especially during this honeymoon kind of phase that your daughter is in with him. So get to know him and assume and look for the good about him. But I think it's also legitimate to name your concern, but it tends to help to do it briefly and not be repetitive about it and get her reaction. And because he wants to be asked more questions, I think it'd be great to say something to your daughter like, we're concerned because of you maybe perhaps being taken advantage of with your medical issues you've been through, with your diagnosis you got about autism. And so we wonder, could we have a group discussion about what have been the positives that have come out of your struggle? And then what have been the difficulties, and how might you two talk about this and face this in a romantic relationship? Daughter, would it be okay if we have that discussion as a foursome together?
That's a great idea, Alice. It's such a transition to go from full-time caregiver to now we're going to launch her, away, but take advantage of all of the different questions that you can be asking Annie in this time. I think we're going to send Annie a copy of Doing Life with Your Adult Children. Yes. Because even though you describe her as having these challenges, we want to equip her. And, it also, you've been invited to ask him the tough questions. So let's, we're cheering you on, Annie, for you guys to have those conversations and see where we go next. We're grateful that you called. We're going to go back to the calls, and guess what? Gigi is back, but you can hear the music. Gigi, can you say hello while we're waiting, just so that we know you're there?
Yes, I am.
Are you there?
Oh,
yay! Okay, good. Okay, Gigi, we are going to take a quick break, but we wanted to know that you were alive and well, and we're going to talk to you after this break. But, it is always something. New Life has been helping people for so many years deal with the somethings, and sometimes the somethings are someone's, because that's just the way that goes. But, I want you to know that we are so grateful that you trust us, that you know that we're going to direct you in the right direction and give you the resources. Maybe it's a book, maybe it's a counselor, maybe it's a course or an event somewhere along your journey we have integrated into your life, and we're so grateful to have the privilege to do so. We'll be right back after this.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 Steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back, and remember, you can go to newlife.com. We got a new look, and you can find all of the events there. But right now, the person of the hour is Gigi. She called us back. Hey, Gigi, how can we help you?
Good afternoon to you all. Thank you for taking my call. I'm so grateful for you guys. My specific question is in just getting some guidance to know how to respond properly. I've been a caregiver to my parents that are in their 90s now. And they still see me as a little girl that needs to get correction. And that's a challenging thing. And then the lack of support, too, from siblings. They figure, hey, you're single and you're a Christian, therefore they're your responsibility. And that's always hard, too. You know, so I don't always serve with a smile on my face. Some days I'm exhausted. And I want to be respectful and honor them as I'm called to do so. But some days I'm like, I don't think I can handle this anymore. So, like, how do you, like, stay respectful, loving, kind, and then at the same time set good boundaries and then not let resentment or exhaustion get to me, I guess is the question.
So Gigi, are they in a care facility, or they live with you, or they live in their own? What's their arrangement?
They live in their own house, so I had to move in to care for them, and so I let go of my place, and financially I support a lot of their expenses here too, because their insurance doesn't cover a lot of things. And so so this is the house that I grew up in as a child. And so I think that's what makes it hard, too, because in their mind, it's our house, our rules, even though I'm a full-grown adult.
Yeah. But you are a full-time caregiver, and caregiver burnout is a real thing. Mark, how can we help Gigi?
In what ways are they correcting you, Gigi? I'm curious.
For example, like the meals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I prepare their breakfast, their lunch, their dinners, their snacks in between. And it's little things like, why did you serve it on that plate? That's the wrong plate. Okay. It's just little petty, ridiculous things that I'm like, are you serious? So I try not to take it personal, because I'm like, okay, they're in their 90s. They like everything a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Or, just complaints about why is that box there? It should be over there. Little things like, I don't like this, or it's mostly things related to the house.
Yeah. And what happens
why did
when
you change the curtains?
Yeah. What happens when you speak up for yourself? Or have you?
I'm sorry?
I said, what happens when you speak up for yourself, or have you spoken up for yourself?
Oh, yes, plenty of times. Well, then they call one of the siblings. Oh, can you believe that she got upset because we told her that she shouldn't change the curtains? I'm like, the curtains need to change.
And do your siblings buy into that? Do they triangulate into the situation?
They always side with my parents because they're the parents, and it should be the way the parents say, But I'm like, you guys don't live here. You don't understand the needs, this and that.
It can hard. And I'm glad you made the connection to this is the home that you grew up in, and so you're back living there now, and so it can seem like our house, our rules, and you've fallen right back into the family of origin role of they're the parents and you're the little kid, even though it's flipped the other way around where you're taking care of them. And so this is the part that can be hard in a relationship when we're willing to do our work and the other person's not willing to do theirs. And so to a certain amount, yeah, I'm hearing what you're saying. They're set in their ways, and you may have spoken up for yourself, but they may just be willing just to keep giving the complaints about it. I mean, and to a certain degree, you may have to learn how to just not engage with that and to, respectfully walk away in those moments. Or at other times, it may need to be setting a boundary. Hey, Mom and Dad, I'm willing to serve you dinner, but I'm not willing to do that while you're complaining at me about it. So let me know when you're ready for me to come back. And if you could be grateful, that would encourage me. And I'll be back in 5 minutes to check in on you. And so you may have to set some of these soft boundaries. Of course, I'm not telling you to starve them, but what I'm saying is learning how to set soft boundaries that you're standing up for yourself so that they realize that you are not young little Gigi anymore. You are an adult. And this also may spill over into you having some conversations with your siblings to say, hey, listen, I'm the person who's at home and I'm helping Mom and Dad. And it really doesn't help when you feed into that. And I'm going to ask you not to do that.
There you go. Alice, what
do you think about that, Gigi, having some of those conversations?
Yes, that's excellent. I usually tell my parents, if you have a complaint about anything specific, that's fine. Tell me, don't tell them. Why engage them only in that and not necessarily in, or if one of my siblings offers to come and help, and my mom will say, oh, no, don't come. You have the kids and the kids this and the kids that. I'm like, what do you mean don't come and help? Of course they need to come and help. She goes, well, you have more time than them. I'm like, oh, no. This is not okay.
Gigi, I think you might need to become less available. So that
exactly, that's what I'm learning now.
There you go. You're already on that train of thought. So that your parents, they might have to be pushed to accept other people's help and pushed by your absence, your temporary absence. But my goodness, Gigi, you turned your life upside down to move in and serve them in all the ways that they need, and even to financially support them. And so I'm imagining a family discussion of letting the siblings know, siblings, this is what I can still take care of. These other things are what I am no longer, or in 3 months, will no longer be able to take care of. So how are we all going to figure out how to fill in the gaps? Because I am not 100% available in these ways anymore at the end of 3 months. So I look forward to more of your help. And being strong, but loving and firm, and allowing there to be some space for other people to have to fill in. Because otherwise, your parents, they both prefer you, but then they prefer to criticize you. And you're kind of getting emotionally beat up in this.
Yeah, it's funny that
that's the part that's hurtful.
Well, it is, but here's the funny thing. You're the same thing. You're saying that they are treating you like you're a child, but it's also, as the child, like as the adult child, it's a weird place to be when you're caregiving for your parents. And so this is normal. This not normal, whatever normal is, but so it's understandable. But here's what you just said, Alice, is so key to this. Gigi, your siblings were asking your mom to help, your mom saying no. When you have this family discussion, you guys can create a schedule. You can say, hey, sister, brother, you guys can come over, do groceries. You can you can segment out who's responsible for what, so that you are the coordinator, you're the person that's present. But also, you can even assign one of them to find out what senior supports are available in the community that they live in, because there are a lot of great places where people can get those outside supports, everything from Meals on Wheels to, in-service PT, all kinds of things. Because even though your parents, how old are they now, Gigi? They're in their 90s? And so
and 91.
Yeah, and your heart is to help them. Obviously, you turned your life upside down, but you know what? Let your siblings in on the joy of helping your parents.
And you know what? It sounds like you need a week away or a weekend away, and that may be a great way to force them to come in and start supporting.
Absolutely. Gigi, I'm going to send you a copy of Take Your Life Back, because I think that you'll see some ideas in there that are going to help you as you create these connections with your siblings, be able to love on your parents in these final years. And it is a tough time, but boy, it's a privilege to be able to serve them in these last days. And we'll be praying for you too. We'll get you connected with a counselor if you would like more support. New Life is here for you. You can give us a call, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And we want to be along for your transformation journey for however long it takes. Thank you, Marc and Alice.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.